Right, guys, unbelievably enough, the media and football pundits are still banging on about the Millwall and Colchester fans booing these sanctimonious tosspots that were taking the knee. We also had West Ham fans booing, but the media have remained silent on that one as much as they can. The updates on this in the last 24 hours or so have been coming thick and fast, though. The trouble I am having now is where to start because Millwall have gone fully woke. Football players are calling out fans to be banned for booing, and actually, Colchester and Millwall said fans who boo are not welcome at the clubs, if you can believe it. So if you disapprove of what the club you have supported all your life has suddenly started doing in the last 6 months, you are not good enough to support these clubs anymore. They are lucky there is not a whole stadium full of them, is all I will say on that one. But on top of all that, we also have the FA investigating the fans booing these virtue signalling tosspot players, which could actually be a good thing. If they investigate it, they should see people have an issue with Marxist political organisations, not black people. And actually, if they want to go out into the real world, they will see most black people don't even support BLM. I mean, for instance, every black guy I know and have spoke to about BLM actually thinks less of that movement than we do. But the Premier League, FA and football clubs are like the media at this point, actually thinking the public supports this shit when they really don't. Now, Millwall have said they will link arms rather than take a knee tonight in their game against Queen's Park Rangers that will be live on Sky Sports. So I will try and catch the start of that to see what actually happens. Personally, I don't think the crowd will boo that gesture as it's been used in campaigns like Kick It Out and Show Racism the Red Card. But if players kneel, they could well boo again, and I would support them 100% in doing that. Linking arms I have no issues with, but kneeling is for cucks, and doing it because Marxists tell you to is always a no-go from me. But I feel I also need to point out James Cleverley, Foreign Office Minister, who sort of stood up for free speech but still called the act of booing wrong, slightly contradicting himself there, when actually it was not wrong to boo. But at the end of the day, we can't expect too strong a stance against Marxism by the conservatives, let's be honest. But I feel I should tell James Cleverley what is actually wrong is football clubs supporting race-baiting movements designed to divide people and attacking the fans for not wanting politics brought into the beautiful game. It's not too much to ask, is it? Now, naturally, Gardenista Tosspots wrote articles about this where the salt was flowing, and former players have said they would leave the club if they had been booed for supporting Marxism, which is funny for a number of reasons. One being that the fans would likely help you pack them bags because the fans have supported these clubs often longer than you have even been playing football, so they will be happy to get rid of sanctimonious tosspots cucking themselves to political movements. I actually hope far more fans from other clubs show solidarity with Millwall, Colchester and West Ham fans who booed these tosspots, and let their feelings be known to the clubs, FA and anyone else that football fans will never support race-baiting politicised bullshit like BLM or taking the knee, and want clubs and players to keep politics out of football. It has no place in any sport like it has no place in a kids' TV programme. Now, possibly a bigger issue to Millwall fans is part of their club's statement following the booing. Not the club attacking fans for doing it, but their talk of a race-based audit being conducted within the club aiming to increase diversity. So Millwall have gone full BBC on their fans and are now going to make sure they are diverse, which means discriminating in the name of equality. I will read out part of their statement before ending this video. It says, Millwall have a zero-tolerance policy against racial and all other forms of discrimination and want to again make clear to anybody who holds such views that they are not welcome at this football club. Millwall's stance, as always, is that anybody found guilty of racial abuse is banned for life. Well, that is all fine and dandy because booing Marxist political movements is not racist in any way, shape or form, so you can't ban anyone for booing, and as we know, the booing was not against black people, it was against politics in sport. But the statement continues. Moving forward, the club and its community trust have started the first ever audit of board members, staff, volunteers and participants as part of an ongoing commitment towards equality, diversity and inclusion in all areas of operations. An internal survey has been sent to all appropriate stakeholders and its findings will allow the club to set necessary benchmarks as part of a new widespread and multifaceted anti-discrimination strategy. Included within that will be the formation of an equality, diversity and inclusion code of practice to cover departments throughout the club's activities and recruitment processes, on top of a push towards ensuring the entire Millwall workforce is fully representative of its diverse local community. The Trust will continue their outstanding industry-leading work around anti-discrimination within the boroughs of Southwark, Lewisham and most importantly further afield. This will still include programs and projects within primary and secondary schools and colleges, as education, the club believes, is the most important driver in ridding society of discrimination of all kinds. Unless, of course, it's anti-white rhetoric, because we know that is rife in the education system at the moment. But in short, the club has decided it wants to get woke and go broke. I guess Millwall think they are a big club with lots of money these days who no longer need their fans to operate as a money-making business. We will see how that turns out for these cucks in control of football clubs. But it really goes to show to me how neck-deep these shitweasels are in all this BLM Marxist bullshit. The last thing football clubs and football in general needs to do is turn the fans against it. It is their game, not the club's.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.